Hello, this is James and Charlie from Triptease, and we're here to talk about the latest initiative in the direct booking movement. So this week, Skift published an article about the fact that Marriott and Hilton are now working with TripAdvisor in some really interesting ways to start talking about direct bookings. Charlie, could you just summarise what's taken place?
Yes, so we know that the big brands are trying very hard to correct the fallacy, the misperception amongst consumers that OTAs are cheaper than direct. And this is the next stage, and it's a really big shift, I think, this one. So the hotels, Marriott and Hilton, are now paying TripAdvisor for an advert that runs on TripAdvisor and says, if you go over to the direct brand site and become a member, you will get a lower rate. So it's very clearly TripAdvisor saying, that there's a place you can go to get an even cheaper rate. Now this is really interesting because TripAdvisor is also a meta search, and TripAdvisor's business model has been moving very strongly towards, we want people to come on our site and book here using Instant Book on TripAdvisor. And now, right alongside the book on TripAdvisor prices and price comparison, there's an advert that says, actually no, leave and you'll get an even better rate. So it's a little bit confusing for the consumer probably, but it's a really big shift and a big step in this fight for direct, because the hotels are taking their message to sort of the main battleground.
Okay. And how do you think this will impact independent hotels? It's easier if you're a big player like Marriott, but what does it mean for an independent hotelier? Is this something that they could get on board with?
So I guess there's two bits to that. The first one is TripAdvisor is known for having struck deals in the past with major brands. The Booking.com TripAdvisor Instant Book deal took a year to come about, and it was very specific. This is how we're going to do it with Booking.com. It could be that the deal TripAdvisor has got here with Hilton and Marriott is a one-off, and they're not going to do it with anyone else. Who knows? We'll have to see. The bigger thing, though, that is definitely the case is this is the next step in re-educating consumers about where the best price is found, and it's happening in a very clear manner. And that will have a knock-on effect for everybody. I think it's going to take a couple of years to re-educate people to realise actually hotels now are better booked direct. It's going to be a while for that message to pass through, but that will knock on for everyone. For me, the thing that I find most interesting about this is that if you consider what is the ideal way for hotels to re-educate the consumer, the ideal way is in places exactly like TripAdvisor, Kayak or Trivago, meta sites which show price comparison. Where there's a price comparison and you see it's $100 on Booking.com, Marriott or Hilton must want to be able to put right next to it, but it's $95 on our site. You want to see the prices compared side by side. This step today doesn't achieve that yet. That's not being done, and which doesn't surprise me for a number of reasons. But it's the first step towards it, and it's quite a big gutsy step. And it's also fascinating because TripAdvisor, their whole business model is about driving instant book, and yet here they are educating people that actually sometimes it's better not to. So I think it's a really big.
That's the interesting thing, is that hotels are engaging with a meta to drive the direct booking message ultimately, which feels slightly counterintuitive in many ways, but it really sounds like it could work.
Definitely. It's going to be very interesting, and no doubt there'll also be some tweaks to the messaging and the way they advertise, but it's one to watch for sure.
Very good. So overall, on balance, is this a step forward or sideways or backwards for the direct booking movement?
I think it's a distinct step forwards for hotels, because it's showing that they just keep finding new places and new ways to bring this clear message to the consumer. And the fact that they've persuaded TripAdvisor to do this, I think, is also a really good sign.
Great, thank you. So there we have it, the latest skirmish in the direct booking battle. Sounds like one for the hotels.